Hi, this is Julie from Third Coast Coach with greetings from North Padre Island, Texas. So today we're going to talk about kitchen towels, and specifically reusable kitchen towels versus disposable paper towels. So if you're wondering what the benefits are of switching to reusable towels, there's many, but to highlight a few, cost is one benefit. So the finances of it. So just to give you a little bit of information about the savings with using reusable towels. On average, if you use one roll per week per person, for a family of two, compared to the cost of washing your towels, the water and the electricity to use your washing machine, you're going to save about $100, $150 a year. And for a family of four, that equates to about $300 a year in savings from using reusables. So you can see there is quite a substantial cost benefit. But there's also the environmental factor, okay, which is actually what motivated me to do it, to switch. And so of course, paper towels are, as they're manufactured, there's chemicals involved, and they're usually bleached, which is not good. And then they're usually wrapped in plastic, right? And soft plastics, which are hard to recycle. And sometimes they're not recyclable in some communities. So they end up in the landfill or being blown around in the environment, creating litter. But the plastic itself is an issue. Everywhere from extraction, the source of plastic is oil and gas, to and the perils that can happen, as part of the extraction process, to processing, to transporting the plastics, even when they're in nerdle form. They're polluting the environment very heavily as nerdles. And then as far as disposal, it's a big issue because they don't break down. Plastics don't biodegrade. So what that means is that it's never going to break down and recycle back into the environment as it came out of the environment. So as you know, we're in a closed loop system. The way this system is designed, the ecosystem is, it's a big recycling machine, right? Things grow, they die, they break down, that supports new life that grows, and it's just this big cycle, right? Well, plastics are a big issue because they don't break down. So they'll break down to a certain degree as far as they'll break into pieces, but they don't actually biodegrade. So you end up with these little tiny microplastics in the environment or in the air, in the water, that are still plastic, even though they're very tiny. Okay, so enough about plastics. Anyway, so that's some of the environmental benefits of switching to reusables as far as paper towels go, because you're going to be skipping the plastic packaging, right? And when you use reusable towels, you just want to make sure that you opt for natural fibers. Because if you go for microfibers or polyesters or blends, those are all plastics. Polyester is actually plastic. So you want to make sure you're opting for natural fibers when you do that. And something else about using natural fibers is you're going to find, if you haven't already switched out everything in your home to natural fibers break down like they're supposed to, right? So they don't hold up as well as some of the synthetics as far as wear and tear. So what I recommend, and what I've done and found great success, is just getting a small mend kit. I have 3 spools, 3 different colors, black, tan, and white, of organic cotton thread and some needles. And it's really simple to do small mends, and that's usually what I end up doing, just having to do very small mends, little tears in the fabric. So in the 3 years I've had this set of towels for my kitchen, I probably had to mend about 4 holes in my towels, very small little holes. So not a big deal at all, but they do break down, and you are going to find that they don't hold up as well as the synthetics. So let me show you what I've got as far as the kitchen towels. First, I've got napkins. So I switched to cloth napkins, and you know, I gotta be honest, when I first thought about using napkins before I had even bought any, I was like, man, I don't have time for that, because I remember my mom ironing her napkins. How many of you remember that? Or had a parent or your mom that ironed napkins? So my mom ironed her napkins, and I was like, man, I don't have time for that. I'm going to have like ugly wrinkled napkins. Well, what I have come to find out is that you really don't need to iron them, okay? Even if you're having company. So what I do is I actually don't dry. I use my dryer. I don't have a dryer anymore. Actually, I have a drying rack. And when I shake these out, and I even fold them a little bit, like the shape they're going to be in, I fold them like this. And for these very thin towels, like my napkins, I'll do this. I'll fold them and I'll lay them over the drying rack, folded, right? I shake them out. And then when I get them off the drying rack, I just hand press them a little bit with my hands, and they come out beautifully. They're still, I mean, some of the fabrics, depending on what it is, has maybe just a little bit of wrinkle, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so I have got a big set of these. This is just a portion of my towel set because some of them are in the laundry cycle right now. But I keep a good amount of cloth napkins on hand. And then I have hand towels. Okay, so again, I have probably about 10 to 15 of these hand towels. And they're good size for drying your hands or cleaning up, you know, the counter. I usually have one out a day that's just for drying after washing, and then I have one that's usually on the counter that I'm using as I'm cooking for when I cook. So this is very good. And I actually opted for a fabric. They're cotton, but you can probably see it has a little bit of texture to it. So it gives me a little bit of scrubbing power in the fabric itself. Okay, and then the next towels I have are small washcloths. So I have a whole lot of these. I probably have maybe 20 to 30 of these. And I go through these a lot more, these little washcloths. I actually use these mainly to wash dishes. I use them for many things, but washing dishes is one of the things I do. So you can see they're just like washcloth size. And again, they have the little bit of texture on them for scrubbing power. And every time I do dishes, I pull out a clean one. So I'm always washing with a clean towel. And that makes me feel good. I went straight from sponges to these things. So, you know, the sponges, I was trying to microwave them and disinfect them, and it just grossed me out. So when I switched to these, I felt a lot better because I know every time I do the dishes, I'm cleaning with a clean rag. But I also use these for other things. They're kind of multi-purpose, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. Let me get through the different kinds of towels. And then I have cleaning rags. So I have dedicated rags for cleaning, and I have very few. I have like one or two of my little hand ones that have gotten to the point, like uber stained or really bad shape, and I can't use them anymore for regular use, so I have put them in my cleaning rags. But mainly it's just white cotton terry cloths that I use for cleaning towels. And then I have oil rags, and these are actually just little fabric swatches. I have a whole stack of these, and what I use these for is when I'm needing to spread oil. I use them on my cast iron skillets. When I want to oil my skillet, I use these little rags. I used to use paper towels and throw away the paper towel when I needed to oil something. But now I just use these little rags, and I wash them with soap and water in my sink, and then I throw them in, let them dry on my drying rack, and then I throw them in with my towel load every week. So a note about towels in the kitchen. These are all good purposes for my towels, but you know, trying to do the minimalist thing, which depending on what you know about that, you know, one of the concepts of minimalism is multi-purpose. So instead of having a lot of things, you have fewer number of things, but you use them for multiple reasons, which helps you reduce the number of things you have. So I have actually found some uses for my towels this way that I wanted to share with you. So the first use is under my dish drying rack, instead of buying one of those mats, I use my hand towel. I put a hand towel under there, and then I put a little folded washcloth under the section that holds the utensils. So I found that use for the towels instead of having to buy a drying rack. And then when I do my towel load, I just pull it out and throw it in with my towels when I'm washing my towels, and I put a fresh one down. So anytime I want, I can have a fresh towel there under my drying rack. And then I have found a use for my napkins. These are my to-go utensils. So I have the bamboo fork, spoon, and knife, and then I have a couple of the metal straws. And instead of buying a little sack, I was looking to buy a sack for these, and I realized, no, I just put them in my towel. So I put them in here and just tied them up with some string, and then I also have my napkin with me when I go out. And then second to last thing, multi-purpose for my towels, is I fashioned an apron out of a napkin. Okay, this is kind of cheesy. Well, the last two things are really kind of cheesy, but I have to share this with you because I didn't have an apron, right? And I was like online looking at aprons, and I was like, oh man, they're so expensive, and I really wanted to buy one, and I still may get one, but for now, I have an apron. Yay. I love it. Okay, and then the last thing, okay, this is really cheesy. I didn't have a mouse pad, okay, and my wrists, I'm on the computer a lot, so my wrists, I've had tendonitis in my wrist for a while. I have to keep my wrists straight. So instead of going out and buying a mouse pad, I use one of my little washcloths, and yes, it works great. So I have it like this on my desk, right? And it props my wrist up perfect. I don't feel any discomfort when I'm using this. So that was my last creative multi-purpose for my dish towels. All right, well, I think that's pretty much it as far as kitchen towels. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you are going to decide to switch, or if you want more information, you can research more about disposables versus reusables, and make up your own mind. But I hope this did give you some information, and I hope it inspires you to at least think about making the switch. And if you do make the switch, decide to, I wish you much luck in finding your towels and getting used to using them. Now, one other note on that, it does take a little time to wash your towels and hang them dry, especially if you're not using a dryer, and folding them and putting them up. So that is going to be an added step in your weekly cleaning routine. But for me personally, it has become a great source of joy, and I hope it does for you too, because every time I'm hanging my towel and folding my towel, I'm just thinking about how I am taking care of Earth. And this is an act of care and love for this amazing planet that we live on. So it has actually become very special to me, a special time when I'm doing that, and very meaningful and very joyful. And so if you do go down this road, just know that it is going to take a little bit of your time to do that every week. It's not a great deal of time, but it is time. And I hope you also find the same meaning and the same joy in making that switch. So that's it on kitchen towels. For more solutions, please visit my website at thirdcoastcoach.com. We've got a whole solution library there with all sorts of solutions. And we also have videos that you can watch, and we also have free assessment planners, and you can take assessments around your waste to help you start assessing, reducing your waste. We also have life balance assessments, and we also have planners to help you when you are going to start making some of these changes in your life. And also at thirdcoastcoach.com, you can find more information about life coaching. I do provide life coaching in sustainable living, but also in any area of your life where you may need support. And you can learn more about that on my website as well. So thank you. I hope you all have a great day, and I thank you for watching. Bye.